we are back, and this is part 2 of chat number 163, Make Activity Stick. So, first part, we talked about activity. This part, the second half, for our extra credit, we are going to talk about cauliflower rice. So, it's been around for a while. You used to have to rice your own cauliflower. So I know, like my Sunday school teacher, she was still trying to do it herself. You can still do it yourself. You can do it in a food processor. You can do it with a cheese grater. I am so sorry. I do not have time in my life to rice my own cauliflower. Excuse me. So I am purchasing it. Popcorn Karen just posted a few minutes ago that she prefers the cauliflower rice from Trader Joe's. She said it was more the consistency of actual rice, and I think she said it's not as wet. Is that right? If you're still here, Popcorn Karen, let us know if that is correct. I guess I'm an equal opportunity riced cauliflower eater, but I haven't been super adventurous with it. So one of the girls in our physical workshop, in our physical meeting, her name is Haley, and Haley was talking to us about fried rice, about cauliflower fried rice. And Debbie, I don't know. I do not know. Ooh, Sandra puts it in her. So Debbie wants to know why you would rice your own. I don't know. I think she just didn't know any better. And she probably is not listening to this. They're like 76, 77 years old. So I think she thought she had to. And Sandra says she puts it in her turkey chili. Yum. That sounds so good. But Haley kept talking about fried rice. So Haley is in our physical group. And she's doing purple. And she is rocking it. I mean, she is doing so well. She's doing so well. So, I got some and I made it because she kept talking about it, and I wanted some, so I made some. The cauliflower rice, the fried rice recipe is already on the blog. It's www.IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. But I'm going to show you 4 things, including the fried rice, that you can make with it. And again, we're going to blow through these in the 27 minutes that we have left. So I won't be able to tell you all the ingredients, so I'm going to go ahead and apologize now if I'm talking quickly. I will get these posted this week. Again, cauliflower rice, the cauliflower fried rice is already posted, www.IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and it should be the very last thing that was posted. So, first thing, super simple, super simple, and this made a whole lot of sense. We used to eat this a lot. Put it in burrito, like put it in with a burrito, put it in with fajitas, put it in with like different layered things, if we were going to have, some kind of, Mexican or whatever, but we've stopped eating it because rice had so many points, so many points for us. So this is just Spanish rice. So I don't know how many of you all actually know what Spanish rice is. It is, I don't even know why it's called Spanish rice, because there's not really anything Spanish about it. But this is made with the cauliflower rice instead of, and wait, Dale made cauliflower rice tonight. She mixed it with ground chicken, asparagus, peas, corn, and some spices. That sounds good. So this is just rice to go with your other Mexican things, and it doesn't have to be Mexican because there are no Mexican spices in here. Hello, Titters. How are you? I haven't talked to you in a while. Are you doing okay? So I don't know why it's called Spanish rice. No idea. But so this is cauliflower rice, and when you make Spanish rice, it does have garlic in it. It does have onions in it. It has tomatoes, or you can just use tomato paste. And then when it is, so when you're making it as rice, I think it does have I put vegetable broth in it instead of, you can use chicken broth or beef broth, but I just put vegetable broth in it. And it is vegetarian. The way I made it, I believe it is also vegan, but it's definitely meatless. But this is a good base for a lot of different recipes. We're going to try it though, because it is cauliflower rice instead of being made out of regular rice, and so we're going to see if it tastes just like regular Spanish rice. And it does. It tastes just like Spanish rice. It does not taste like cauliflower. It's got the right consistency. It tastes just like it. So this is a recipe that I'll post later in the week. It's super simple to make. You make it in one pot. It will probably have, because of the oil that I used in it, maybe a point, unless it's a big serving. But and Lynn says most of it there has jalapeno in it. Guess what I may be adding to this. But this, though, I'm going to use to make like a Mexican, like a little Mexican casserole. So this will be one layer of the casserole, and then it'll have black beans, and I haven't decided yet whether or not it's going to have chicken, but it'll have black beans, and then it'll have, I have some more of the pico, it'll have that on there, and then cheese, and then that'll get baked. So this will be the base for it, but we're not really adding any points by using this for the base instead of using rice for the base. Okay, so that's one thing. Next thing, this is just like it's like macaroni and cheese. So I basically took the cauliflower rice, and I will post this as a recipe, but I took the cauliflower rice and boiled it just like you would boil pasta noodles. You don't have to do it for as long though, because it's, because it's cauliflower rice, and you don't have to add as much water because you're not trying to boil noodles and get them, get a dried noodle to expand. But then I mixed in, this has non-fat Greek yogurt mixed in. It also has fat-free ricotta cheese mixed in, and it has Velveeta shredded cheese. And if you don't have Velveeta shredded cheese in your area, I'm so sorry, because it is Velveeta. So if you like Velveeta cheese, and I know Karen's watching, she says Velveeta is not cheese. Whatever, I know it's not cheese, Velveeta cheese product, but it melts so good. And if you've never had it, you must try it because it melts so good. This makes like the best queso ever. But then after that, then I put it all, I put it in this pan. So that's about 2 cups of cauliflower rice, and it has about, let me see, it's 2 cups of cauliflower rice. It has a fourth of a cup of fat-free ricotta, a fourth of a cup of the non-fat Greek yogurt, and a half a cup of the shredded Velveeta. Put all that in that pan, mix it together, and then I put it in this. I sprayed this a little bit with nonstick spray or with your Evo sprayer, and just spray it a little bit. Put that in there and kind of patted it down a little bit, and then I put panko crumbs on top, and I put some of the Dax everything but the bagel. It's everything but the salt is theirs, and you can use the everything but the bagel mix just because it has a little bit of a garlic, taste to it, and it's really good. And then I cooked this on 350 for 30 minutes so that it would be like a baked macaroni and cheese. And so let's put a little bit out on this plate and see how it turned out. Now, when it was warm, when it was still warm, it looked even better. Of course, we've been chatting for a few minutes, so it is no longer that warm. But you can use this. This makes a good little side dish. It's going to be more like a cheesy rice, even though I'm calling it macaroni and cheese. It's going to be more like a cheesy rice because the rice, when you do it like this, has more of the consistency of like risotto. So, and that would be good too. Risotto would be good. So this one's just a very cheesy, and and then you bake it so that it's like baked macaroni and cheese. Let's see how this one is. So cheesy. That would be good with some onion in it too. And Melissa wants to know what you would serve it with, baked chicken or something like that. Yes, this is delicious by itself. This would actually, believe it or not, be good like as a side, like for eggs. But yes, it would be good with some baked chicken. It would be good with that man's turkey tenderloin. It would be good. This would be good with something if you serve green beans with it. But it's just a cheesy casserole, so it's like making a cheesy rice casserole. Yeah. So that was super good. That one was super easy. I made all of this after Karen and I got back from walking. Well, one thing I didn't because I already had it going because it was in a crock pot. But all of this, so everything got made in 2 hours or less. Okay. So the next one's a little bit more complicated. So I'm going to talk more slowly. So the next one is the cauliflower fried rice. Oh yeah, Vicky said pork. Oh yeah, pork chops. That man's pork chops, which is also on the blog. So yeah, Vicky said pork chops and broccoli, that would be good. And Teresa said yes, the turkey tenderloin. So this would be good with that man's pork chops or that man's turkey tenderloin, and those are both already on the blog. It's www.IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and you can just search that man. If you search that man, any of the that man stuff would be really good. That would be really good with this. Okay, so this next one's a little bit more complicated, so I'm going to talk a little bit slower, and I'm going to explain a little more in detail. Okay, so this is the cauliflower fried rice. So the base of this is cauliflower fried rice, which is cauliflower rice. So it's already riced cauliflower. And I think we're not allowed to call it cauliflower rice because I think the rice community had a meltdown because it was being called cauliflower rice. So I think now you have to call it riced cauliflower. Whatever. Anyway, I've got more important things to do than to worry about the rice community's feelings being hurt. But anyway, okay, so this was riced cauliflower. It does have sesame oil in it. I had a question today about what if you don't like sesame oil. I guess just use olive oil? I don't know. I mean, I love sesame oil. I love it. Oh, and Melissa wants to know if I had the bag the cauliflower came in. Okay, hold on just a second. I gotta go dig it out. Now this is the industrial size bag. Because I was making so much today, it comes in smaller bags than this. But this is Green Giant Riced Veggies Cauliflower. So it does come in smaller bags than this, but I was making 4 things, so I needed the ginormous bag. So that is what that looks like. But that's the only ingredient that's in the riced cauliflower is just the cauliflower. You can get it cauliflower, you can get it cauliflower and broccoli. You can get cauliflower and peas and carrots. You can get some with seasoning in them. So make sure though that if you're going to count the riced cauliflower part as 0 points, that you get just the riced cauliflower, not the one with the seasoning, or check the points. Okay. So anyway, so it has, this recipe is already on the blog. It's already on www.IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and it is riced cauliflower, sesame oil, garlic. It does have a little bit of peas and carrots in it. It has egg in it, so it has 1 egg and 1/4 of a cup of egg whites. And the blog will tell you how to fix that. But to make it like actual fried rice, so actual fried rice has kind of scrambled eggs, scrambled up in it. It has scallions in it. It has onions in it. This is the part. This is why I'm listing every single thing. And I use Bragg liquid aminos. So I got a ton of questions about, do you have to use soy sauce or not? Okay, I never said use soy sauce because I don't use soy sauce. If I need something that tastes like soy sauce, I use Bragg liquid aminos. These are so much better for you. It is a natural soy sauce alternative, and it's made from soy protein. It does have a little bit of a salty taste to it. It is, it's healthier for vegetarian, healthy recipes, but it has no preservatives, no alcohol, not fermented. It's gluten-free, and it contains the following 16 amino acids that I'm not going to read. It has 16 amino acids though, and it is non-GMO. So this is what I use instead of soy sauce. So to the person who doesn't like sesame oil and who doesn't like soy sauce, sorry, you're just gonna have to make it with olive oil and no liquid aminos, I guess. But I mean, I'd say try it because these are so good. They're so good. And Betty says she likes the Bragg liquid aminos. I put these in my green beans too. Really, really good. It gives it kind of a smoky flavor too, so it's really good as a soy sauce alternative. It's good as a Worcestershire sauce alternative, but I love it. So this is what I'm using when I say Bragg liquid aminos. And if you can't find it, if you go to IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and if you go to the shop, then Jessica has listed a lot of my recommendations, like things that you can get on Amazon. So, I mean, if you want to order it from Amazon, you can. I love them. Oh, that was it. I forgot. One of the things that was in this does have Bragg nutritional yeast in it. It does have Bragg nutritional yeast in it. Okay, and Teresa wants to know if it has sodium. It does. That's why I said it has a salty flavor. It has 320 milligrams of sodium. But the ingredients are vegetable protein from non-GMO soybeans and purified water. But it has naturally occurring sodium. So they have not added any salt to it, but it is naturally occurring, sodium. I mean, it has a little bit of a salty taste. Okay, so all of that. So you make the cauliflower fried rice, and you go. So you go to IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. Today, it's the top recipe. It's today on March the 1st, 2020. It is the top recipe. Tomorrow, hopefully it won't be the top recipe or the last one done, because hopefully I'll be getting one of these other 3 put in, and then the next day and the next day and the next day that it'll go back down. And so you go ahead and make that. But then what I have on top of this is if you want to make this a vegetarian meal, it's not vegan because it has an egg in it. Okay, so anybody who's thinking, oh, it's gonna be vegan, it is not. It is a meatless meal. It is a vegetarian meal, but it is not vegan because it does have an egg in it and it has egg whites in it. So I use the Gardein porkless, the sweet and sour porkless bites, and I've divided it up into 3. So this recipe, the recipe for the cauliflower fried rice, it's 6 servings, but I've divided mine into 3 servings, so that makes it 2 smart points because I did only 3 servings instead of the 6 servings that it comes out to. Then the Gardein porkless bites without the sauce, it is 2 smart points for the porkless bites. And then the sauce, I think, if you divide that into thirds, and then the sauce, I think, adds another point or 2. So I've got like 4 to 5 points for all of this, for this whole cute little bowl. And look at that little cutie's face. I got this at Sunrise Market here in Knoxville. But anyway, they have all kinds of cute little Asian bowls like this. So that is this big bowl. It's a pretty good sized bowl of my cauliflower fried rice on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and the Gardein porkless bites, sweet and sour porkless bites with the sauce and some scallions. And I'm so ready to try this. So it smelled so good. I'm gonna try and cut the porkless bite in half, though. I should have done that first, because I know y'all don't want to watch me eat an entire bite of that. But for those of you who want to try something meatless and you're scared to, I'm telling you, these, you would never know. You would never know that they were not pork. Okay, so I got on my fork, because I'm not brave enough to eat with chopsticks in front of you all. So on my fork, I have some cauliflower fried rice, and I have half of one of the Gardein sweet and sour porkless bites, and let's see how that tastes. I seriously just want to say, go ahead and say goodnight and go eat this. That is so good. Oh my gosh, that's good. Okay, you're definitely going to want to try that one. Definitely going to want to try that one. It has a few scallions on top. Oh, and I've sprinkled just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of tuxedo sesame seeds on there just to make it look pretty. Can you see them? They're little black and white sesame seeds. Yeah, so for like 4 or 5 points. This whole bowl. Gosh, that's good. And then I made 2 more. I made 2 more servings of it, and I put them in the meal prep haven. And I'm going to freeze them so that I have them as backup for work. My goal this week for me this week is to make 5 or 6 freezer meals. So like TV dinners, like they used to be. But so I've got 2 of these already, and I'm going to get the Annie Chung's egg rolls and put those right here. And then I'll leave this blank, even though I'm putting them in the freezer, because I'll probably eat them with some kind of fruit, when it's time to eat them. But so that's 4 to 5 points. So good. I'm seriously considering Just telling y'all good night. I'm just kidding, I'm not going to. Okay, the last one. So, and I think we can get this one covered in the 9 minutes that we have left. The last, gosh, I want another bite of that. That was so good. Anyway, so the one that we have left, this is something that my mom used to make all the time. So she used to make this all the time. Oh yeah, wait, Alicia wrote down the ingredients, or she just wrote down the ingredients, and and she bought, how did you buy these at the store today? Were you like channeling me or something? You knew to pick these up? And she's gonna make that her meatless Monday dinner. That is awesome. Yeah, I have a feeling we'll be having that too, or this other one. But my mom used to make this all the time, and I honestly cannot remember. I can't remember if she made it in a crock pot. I mean, I'm talking like eons ago, like before she became vegan, when we were growing up, this was, I think, a cheap meal, for her to make. I cannot remember if she made it in a Dutch oven, or I don't think she had a crock pot. I really just don't think she had a crock pot. I'm thinking it was a Dutch oven. And I'm sorry, Pam wants to know where I got the pork bites. So I bought them at Publix today, but here in Knoxville, we have them at Publix, Kroger, Ingles has a lot of the Gardein stuff, but I don't know if they have the pork bites or not. I have not checked Food City here in Knoxville, but for sure in Knoxville, so I don't know where you live, but for sure in Knoxville, Publix and Kroger for sure has these. But anyway, so I don't know if I guess she did it in a Dutch oven. Well, I had to do it in the crock pot because I don't have a Dutch oven. I thought about doing it in the can cooker, and the next time I make it, I might try it in the can cooker just to see how it turns out. But since I knew for sure it was going to come out okay, and Tedder's, porkless bites, they're in the freezer section. So they're frozen. And, and Alicia says they have them at Walmart in North Idaho. Okay. Well, y'all know, since I don't go to Walmart, I never thought to check there. But yeah, so maybe Walmart too. Okay, so this one, again, I did in the crock pot. My mom used to make it all the time. Let me turn that off. So my mom used to make it all the time, but I knew that it would turn out good in the crock pot. So I've made it before with rice. And I thought, since I had this whole riced cauliflower thing going on, I thought, I wonder if I can go ahead and make that with riced cauliflower too. And guess what? It turned out great. And yes, Tedders, it really does taste like pork. I mean, well, hold on. Let me show you the middle of this one. Let me show you the inside of this one. Actually, this is just no, that's not the inside. This is an excuse to take another bite, and then I will show you this other food. So, gosh, I love them. That's the inside of one of the pork bites. So it looks like pork. It looks like pork, and it tastes like pork. And I mean, it's not super chewy like a pork chop. It's like a super, super tender pork chop. No one would know. If you didn't tell them it wasn't a pork chop, they would never know. And the sauce that comes on it is really good too. Okay, so anyway, this last one. Again, my mom used to make it all the time. I think it's because it was cheap. Because it was cheap and easy to make. But I made it in a crock pot. And this is riced cauliflower again. And what I did is I thawed the riced cauliflower. I put it on the bottom layer. I made it like the bottom layer in my crock pot. So it was 2 cups of riced cauliflower. And so I put it all, over that bottom layer. Then I put about, like a couple of tablespoons of water in there. And I went ahead and turned the crock pot on low. Then I added diced onions and celery. So it doesn't have to be onions and celery. It can be onions and carrot. I do recommend though that if you make it with onions, because it just helps since you're cooking it slow to bring all that flavor out. So you can do onions and carrots. You can do onions and potatoes if you want to. You can do different things, but I did diced onions and celery, and then I put that layer on there. Then I added lean round steak, lean round steak, and you need to trim the fat off of it if you do get some that has some fat on it, because you're trying to make this as lean as you can so that it's not too many points. So lean round steak, I think it's like a point per ounce. So 3 ounces would be 3 points, 4 ounces would be 4 points. I'll go back and calculate that exactly for you when I post the recipe. But you put that on there and it's raw, and you can see it was cut into these little strips. A, so it'd be easier to get out. B, that's part of how you do this, and I'll tell you what it's called in a second. And has anybody ever made this, and do you know what it's called? Because I haven't said the name yet, I don't think I've said the name yet, because this is another one I'm terribly confused as to why it's called this. And so then you put that on there and it's raw. Then you can add either tomato paste, or you can do canned tomatoes. And so I had some tomatoes left from the Spanish rice, so I just used the rest of the can of tomatoes and poured that over the top of it. It does have some garlic, and it has more of the vegetable broth, so I put that in there too. And then you cover all that up, so kind of smear the tomatoes out, and you cover all that up, and you let it cook in the crock pot. You let it cook on low for 6 to 8 hours. Well, I didn't have 6 to 8 hours, so I had to put mine on high for about 30-45 minutes, and then I turned it back on to low for 4 hours. But does anybody know what this is called? Did anybody else's mom ever make this dish, or do you make this dish? Does anybody know what it's called? Yes, Tedder's is exactly right. It's called Swiss style steak, and Carol's exactly right, Swiss steak. Why is it called Swiss steak? Somebody please explain that to me. What does this have to do with Switzerland? What is Swiss about this? But when my mom used to make it, she would always serve it over rice. So I did the riced cauliflower so that I could keep the points down to just the steak, okay? And since this is all cooked in the crock pot, or you can cook it in a pressure cooker, I'm sure you can cook it in a pressure cooker. Pretty sure my mom cooked hers in a Dutch oven, then you don't need to add any extra oil to it or anything. But yeah, Swiss style steak. I have no idea why it's called that. But because you're putting it over the riced cauliflower, you can keep the points super, super low so that you can enjoy more steak. Okay, so let me try it and let me see if it tastes like what my mom's did. Oh, what did I do with my fork? Okay, I'm going to see if it tastes like my mom's old Swiss style steak. And again, no idea why it's called that. None. It tastes exactly like it. I mean, exactly. You would have no clue that this wasn't rice underneath it. Thank you, Tedder. Tedder says these recipes are amazing, Kelly Green Million. Thank you. Yeah, and Betty cooks a lot in her crock pot, so she's going to try it. So this is crazy yummy. It tastes exactly like my mom's Swiss style steak. And there's no rice in there. So I've saved all the points for the meat. So I'll get to have extra meat. Okay, so that is 4 recipes using riced cauliflower. I hope you all will get the industrial size bag like I did. The cauliflower fried rice is already up on the blog. It's just www.ifyouhaveanegg.com. The others will be up there by the end of the week because, again, Jessica and Casey are saving me so much time and are helping me so much to get everything posted so that we can keep going. And thank you, Alicia. Alicia says, great chat as usual. Thank you for the recipes. You're awesome. Thank you. No, you all are awesome for listening to me. But I am going to try to see if I can get Dusty to come over here. First of all, he's going to think he's getting some of this. But second of y'all have to see this haircut. Dusty, come here, buddy. Don't forget to do your homework. So your homework is the hashtag 15-minute fit fun. 15-minute fit fun. Don't forget that. And and Carla says the beef is called Sussex if you roll it or pound it. Awesome. Okay, come here, buddy. Okay, check out this stylish haircut. So we found out like 4 months after we checked, it's the Swissing. Okay, Vicky and Carla both say that it's Swiss because of the Swissing process. Okay, well that makes sense. Anyway, we had to get him super, super shaved. So he looks like a little tiny rat dog. Look, he had to wear pajamas. He had to wear pajamas because he has so much less hair. Okay. Anyway, y'all have a great week. Try all of this. It was super, super yummy. I bet you can guess which one I'm having for supper tonight. We will definitely be having the Swiss style steak for supper tomorrow night. But y'all have an amazing week. It's been so much fun to be here again. Thank you for letting me cook for you so that we have food for the rest of the week. But y'all have a great week. And if you're watching this on YouTube, just go ahead and let that next video play. You know you want to watch it. If you have not subscribed yet, why haven't you subscribed? If you're watching this on YouTube or listening on YouTube, why haven't you subscribed? Go ahead and subscribe on YouTube and then click that little bell so that it'll let you know when the next video gets posted. And if you want to order one of our spread shirts, and Casey just added a new one that I'm going to have to get because it says hello and happy Sunday. If you want to get one of those or a coffee mug or something, they are right over here. But you all have an amazing night. Hope y'all have an even better week, and I will see you next time. Good night.